marquee matchups coming up in the Pac-12, which is an extremely deep and highly gifted league.
According to SP+, there are 4 primary contenders for the crown: Washington, Oregon, USC, and everyone else.
They're like these great NFL teams with multiple ways to attack you.
Washington, Oregon, and USC are all built around ruthlessly efficient offenses. They're all in the top 4 nationally in scoring offense, average yards per play, total offense, and offensive SP+.
Here's Bo, inside throw, another touchdown, Oregon.
That's a touchdown, USC.
Michael Penix pulls out the arrow and lets it fly.
Washington's Michael Penix Jr. and USC's Caleb Williams are the betting favorites for the Heisman Trophy, and Oregon's Bo Nix, who benefits from one of the nation's best run games, isn't far behind.
There's a lot of great things happening here, and we'll own the things that need to get better.
All 3 teams have defensive concerns. Washington only stops 18% of run plays at or behind the line. That's 127th in the country, and causes issues both in the red zone and on third down. And despite a strong pass rush, Oregon ranks 75th in completion rate allowed and 92nd in contested attempt rate. A passive secondary could be an issue. USC? Yikes. The Trojans give up gains of 20 plus on 8.6% of snaps. That's 122nd.
Goes for the home run ball. Touchdown!
4 other contenders have exciting quarterbacks in between a 3 and 6% chance at the conference title. Saturday's UCLA-Oregon State winner will lead this group, but the elimination games are just beginning.
It's just a different type of feeling.
This is college football as good as it gets. Wow!
What an unbelievable play.
Unreal!
Heisman!
The Kickoff, presented by Ram Trucks. Gary Striewski at Barrie. Known in kickoff parlance as Gary and Barrie, Barrie and Gary, however you like it. Week 7.
Fired up.
How did we get here?
We're halfway home. Rankings come out later this month.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm in denial.
I thought this was called football show.
We'll talk about those on October 31st.
Okay.
This is week 7, and we want to get to the slate of games that we're going to be talking about throughout the day. Gary, some good ones going to be played in week 7. Notable games, but oddly enough, you're not even going with one that's on this grid for notable week 7 games,
Correct.
even though there's plenty to talk about.
First of all, can't wait to see SC at Notre Dame. How will they respond after needing triple overtime last week? What about the fight in Mario Cristobal's? Are they going to learn how to play a full 60 minutes and kneel when they need to kneel?
59 minutes and 45 seconds is all.
Kneeling's going to be rocking. And then, of course, we're going to touch deeply on Oregon, Washington. The first time in 115 meetings they're meeting as 2 top 10s.
Oh, someone read the game notes.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
How good is the gauntlet of the Pac-12? UCLA, Oregon State's a sneaky one, but
you know
which
who else
game?
is? People fired up. Check this out. I'm reading the Twitter comments right now, which is generally a bad idea, but we got the Din PhD, Pac-12 is stacked this year. We got some Huskies fans. Hey, South Dakota supporting the Huskies. The battle of Nix versus Penix.
It's Conference of Champions.
Penix.
We'll get to that first. We'll get to that in a minute.
Sword.
But you're actually going tonight.
Give me Stanford. Give me CU. Nothing much out of Stanford this season. Of course, playing the role of spoiler, but they really can't even do that because last year's lone win that Colorado had, it was against Stanford. CU looking for 4 in a row against the Cardinal. The biggest storyline out of this game is the Colorado camp saying Travis Hunter, he's ready to go.
Is on schedule to play, I believe.
Should he play, though? This is a game that Colorado should, 11.5-point favorite, should take care of quite easily. They have the downfield threats at wide receiver, and Stanford doesn't really move the ball either through the air or on the ground, so you don't really need Travis Hunter's services at the corner position either.
If you wanted to put him on a pitch count,
sure.
Get his win back a little bit. Yeah, maybe 20 snaps.
Dude's a freak
on
of
both
an athlete.
sides.
I don't think he needs it.
You just get him some football legs back into it because the back half of the schedule, their swing game was Arizona State.
Gauntlet.
The swing game was Arizona State. They have one more swing game left at Arizona. You're still looking at 6-6, 5-7, but I'd get him out there for a little bit.
This is their last game that they are favored in at this point in the season. Knocking on 5 wins, which, of course, what's after that? 6. They're bowl eligible after that. Before it, out of their last 5 games, all ranked opponents.
And based on what
it ain't going to be easy.
Except for Arizona, who gave USC fits last week. The game I'm keeping an eye on, Miami and North Carolina. You touched on it when you showed it over the full screen of the game. Look, we are literally 35 seconds away from this game being a battle of unbeatens in the ACC and a real opportunity for someone to plant their flag in the ground as an ACC contender and a college football playoff contender. In a way, we still have that. And here's what I'll say about North Carolina this year. They play really good defense this year for Gene Chizik. Drake May looks every bit of a number 1 overall pick, looks every bit of a Heisman Trophy contender. Here's where I'm at with Miami. Things did not go well in that locker room post-game last week.
You don't say.
After the Miami loss. Things had not gone well. When you have a team that knows they let one get away.
Yes.
There is nothing more dangerous than a team that now wants to go out and prove everybody wrong.
Sure.
So I think you're going to get the best version of Miami on Saturday against North Carolina. Will that be enough to win in Chapel Hill? I don't know. But Cristobal knows it's on him. The players can go in there and say, well, I should have let the guy beat me deep. We should have finished that off, which, by the way, he was down. He didn't really fumble it. Neither here nor there. To me, Miami
I know where your money was at.
bounces back and gives North Carolina a run.
It's just unfortunate because of what you already just said. Miami was undefeated.
Yep.
17th ranked team in the country.
Yep.
And they were one kneeling of the football away from being undefeated.
That's
the
it.
fighting Mario Cristobal's, all right, turning things around. They are the Canes. The U is back. But no. And we've seen that from him before, 2018 at Oregon.
Can I be devil's advocate for a minute?
No.
Please.
Okay, but sure.
He's an offensive line guy.
Yeah.
He's an attitude guy. Yeah. He probably didn't like that Georgia Tech hung around with him that long
Played
anyway.
through the whistle.
His thing is like, you know what? To hell with it. I've got better guys up front. I'm going to pound it down their throat one more time to win the game. Was it the wrong call? Yeah. Absolutely. That's his mindset, though.
All right. It's just unfortunate that they're not going into this game undefeated.
I kind of like the Canes this week, plus the points.
I mean, you kind of convinced me, but I'm not going against Drake May.
I wouldn't either.
Thank you.
Except for this week. USC Notre Dame, speaking of bounce back.
For both of them.
Look, what did I say last week? Louisville beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
We've got that on record. So
and dude,
why didn't I have that as my upset?
They
2
have
weeks
Sam
ago?
Hartman's number, man. That is a house of horrors. It's
Notre Dame
Papa John's
can't
built.
stretch the field.
Yeah.
But USC isn't as physical as Notre Dame, and they've got to go to the cold weather of South Bend.
You're calling it cold weather, early October.
Zach Brown called it colder weather.
I guess these are Southern Cal kids, so if the temperature starts with a 5, they're like, we should.
The temperature starts with a 6.
Really? Yeah. I was walking out to SportsCenter the other day
Yeah.
with Jay Harris, and he was like checking the weather, and it was 49, and he goes, it starts with a 4, I ain't walking outside.
Yeah, if it's icy, it's dicey.
If you go to USC or something, Jay?
But that's what's going to,
Sam Hartman needs a bounce-back game. 3 interceptions against Louisville. A year after he threw 3 interceptions against the
turnovers.
same Louisville. 2 fumbles. How are you going to put the ball on the carpet that many times? But USC looks so vulnerable. Caleb Williams, he can't do it all. Triple overtime for an Arizona team. Where's SC's defense? I mean, they've never been historically, recently, world beaters on that side of the football, but
I mean, Arizona didn't put up too many points. They were down 17-0 in that one.
Sure.
And they fought their way back. I just don't know that
Shouldn't have been
USC.
that close.
I just don't think USC's that physical.
Correct.
I think if they get in a game,
Cal, man.
7-on-7. If they get in a game against a team that will punch them in the mouth, and I think that could be Notre Dame. Here's the thing about Notre Dame. Can you let this sink in for a minute? 2 losses now.
Yes.
For the Irish. Could you imagine a world where we're midway through October and Notre Dame's 4-3?
Oof.
When we were talking about a college football playoff berth for them a couple of weeks ago.
That's yucky.
And look at the schedule that's left. I mean, USC is a tough one. At Clemson, regardless of who they are right now, that's going to be tough. I mean, you don't want to be 9-3.
But there's nothing on that remaining slate that sort of jumps out and says. I mean, listen, they already have 2 losses, so it's not like they can reinsert themselves. They can't reinsert themselves.
We have USC schedule. I'd love to look at USC schedule just because that gauntlet, there it is. Okay, so Notre Dame.
God, look at that.
Utah, Washington, Oregon, and UCLA.
Cam Rising will be coming back.
They're getting got in 2 of those.
Yeah.
They're going to get
maybe
beat.
back to back.
They're going to get beat
November 4th and November 11th. Yeah, I rock with that.
I mean, we talk about the Pac-12 all the time, and we'll bring Sam Acho in to discuss that here in a minute. But you know what?
Acho!
I see the shoe. Let's bring him in now.
There he is.
Because the Pac-12, to me, when we talk about the Conference of Champions and the best league top to bottom in the country.
He's on the Ducks this Saturday.
7 ranked teams. No kidding. 7 ranked teams in the league. They're all eventually going to have to play each other. This is going to be a dog-eat-dog thing, and that's a bad thing for the conference, who I think has the best top-to-bottom league.
Or will it? I mean, we're talking about dog-eat-dog, and you're right. There are 7 ranked teams in the top 25. All these teams are going to play each other, but my belief is that some of these teams, the cream is going to rise to the top. I'm wearing the green, and it's not because of Oregon, right? You watch the tape. Oregon, not because of Notre Dame either.
Baylor.
Tulane tonight.
Tulane. One of my homies said Tulane, but I will say this. This Oregon team, I don't think has been challenged in the way they're going to be challenged from a defensive perspective all season long. And so if Oregon plays Washington finds a way to win, Washington's defense steps up, all of a sudden Washington may be considered the favorites in the Pac-12. Washington's a physical football team. Washington has offensive prowess. And so what I'm saying is maybe it is Oregon that finds a way to win. I think that one of these two teams could actually separate themselves and be above the rest.
Let's stay right there because it's time now. Built for Success by Ram Trucks. We want to get into what is going to be a marquee week for the Big 12. I don't want to focus on that game too much just yet, because you've got other schools. You've got Oregon State ranked. You've got UCLA ranked. You've got Washington State ranked. USC.
Yeah.
Because I think USC is not in the same class as Oregon and Washington.
That's a fair assessment because you look at their defense. But Caleb Williams keeps them in every single game. Like the defense, 92nd against the run, 112th against the pass. They bad in gaps, miss tackles, but they're still undefeated. And so my point is that Caleb Williams has found ways to, despite the defense, overcome. And then when it matters the most, the defense finds a way to make a play, like that triple overtime stop. And so you're right, like defensively and from a team perspective, different class, but sometimes Caleb finds ways to overcome.
We're going to move to Oregon, Washington in a second, but Barrie says he sees 2 losses on the rest of that USC schedule. Are you there too?
Man, I can't.
Oregon, Washington,
Utah.
UCLA ranked, Utah.
I think the only 2 could be the Oregon and Washington.
Back-to-back weeks.
UCLA may be ranked, but they got a freshman quarterback, Dante Moore, throwing pick sixes. Utah just lost to Oregon State a couple weeks ago. Utah's not in the same class. Cam Rising may or may not come back this year. But you talk about Oregon, you talk about Washington. Those are the teams that could challenge USC. But at the same token, USC could challenge them, right? Caleb Williams is putting up great numbers, but what if he has an even newer, better Heisman moment, right? Look, that's brutal.
Man.
That's brutal.
So, built for the gauntlet, better, Oregon or Washington?
This one hurts me because I'm wearing green.
I think Washington, you're wrong.
I think Washington is better built for the gauntlet.
You do?
I do.
I don't.
I went back and started watching. We all talk about Washington's offense, how great they are. I started going back and watching Washington's defense, and I started being impressed. Yes, Michael Penix, he's the highlight, 446 passing yards, Heisman Trophy favorite. But it's a dude named Braylon Trice, who's a defensive end number 8, led all of college football in pressures last year. Right? Didn't have the sack numbers just yet, but they're coming. A defensive tackle on the inside, 91. Tuli Lasanoa, some dogs, some 6'3", 290, dudes there, 6'5". Oregon's going to try and run the ball. I don't know if they'll be able to run the ball on these big, bad Huskies.
Okay, let's flip it from defense to offense. We're talking Heisman conversation here, and both teams have guys who are in that conversation and are at the forefront of that conversation. Who do you like better at quarterback? Is it Bo Nix or is it Michael Penix?
It's Penix. It's got to be Penix, right? Yeah, Bo Nix does have a higher completion percentage, leads college football, but Michael Penix Jr. is just doing things differently. Like, he wants to take bombs, throw bombs nonstop. 446 passing yards, we talked about it. Number 1 passing offense, we talked about it. But no one's really watched him yet, and I think everyone's going to get a chance to see him on a national stage. They play in late games, et cetera, et cetera. Well, not anymore, man. You're playing Oregon and all the other teams we talked about. You're going to get USC later. You're going to get Oregon State, all these teams. Penix is a dude. Like, he's just that dude, and he's been injured the last few years. Well, now he's finally healthy. He was healthy last year, was injured 4 years before that, and he's showing off his stuff. So I think that Michael Penix Jr. is, when it comes to Heisman, the favorite, and if he gets this win and keeps on winning, I think he will be.
I've talked to a couple of coaches on some staffs that have played Washington, and they've set up front they're not what you would think.
The offensive line, you mean?
Both.
Oh, okay.
They think that they're gettable up front.
Okay.
Which is why in this one, Oregon, I think, is the most complete team.
Okay.
I think Washington's the world lead offensively.
Yep.
They've got that advantage, but Oregon plays defense.
Are we sleeping on Oregon's defense? I mean, they're top 5 in the nation. They 12 points per game.
I think we're too awake on their defense.
Oh, really?
Straight up. Yes, dude.
Because they haven't played.
They haven't really played. They haven't been challenged. Like, I went back, you go watch Stanford. Oh, man, look at this game against Stanford. Stanford doesn't have the weapons that Washington has. Their biggest challenge was Texas Tech, right? Oh, they played Colorado. Colorado didn't have Travis Hunter. They won that game 42-6. It wasn't even close. But Colorado didn't have their full array of weapons. And so I think that Oregon, Dan Lanning is a dominant defensive line, right? From Georgia. He's their head coach at Oregon. But I'm just saying they haven't been truly tested. This will be their biggest test.
Does the winner come out of this game? Does the conference champion come out of this game? It's going to be a lot like the Big 12, I think. It's going to be first 2 meetings.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Barrie. I think the winner of this game gets to the conference championship, obviously. But now you got to go face either this team again or maybe it's a USC team. I do think the winner of this game, dang, this is hard. It's very Big 12-ish, right? Right?
It is.
Oklahoma beats Texas. Maybe they meet again. Maybe the other team avenges their loss. Winner goes. I can't say that the winner of this team wins the Pac-12.
I don't know if he gave us a call, but who's winning the game?
Give me UW, man. Give me them Huskies.
Okay.
Give me the Huskies. Give me the offense. Give me Michael Penix. Give me that offense. Give me the defense stepping up. Oregon wants to run the ball. Give me that defensive line. Give me those edge rushers. Give me a team that we've all been sleeping on that I think will finally turn on the lights and wake everybody up.
Did you say something about a call?
A little conference call?
Yeah.
It's homecoming in Tuscaloosa as Alabama gets set to host Arkansas, 12 p.m. kick on ESPN. And for Alabama, they just might be hitting their stride at the right time, fresh off of a big win on the road versus Texas A&M, where we saw quarterback Jalen Milroe make a ton of strides, particularly in the vertical passing game. Now, Alabama still has its faults. They're heavily penalized, 14 penalties, 9 procedure penalties on the road last week. That's got to get cleaned up, struggling to run the football. But the progression in the passing game with Jermaine Burton, Isaiah Bond, and Jalen Milroe's confidence, along with a defense that has really, really come into its own. You can make an argument Alabama's the most disruptive defense in college football right now. So Arkansas will have their hands full coming off of 4 straight losses where they've been heavily penalized, giving up 20 sacks in the last 4 games to quarterback KJ Jefferson. Should be a fun one in Tuscaloosa as Alabama continues to be hot.
Well, this is a get-right game for 2 position groups in particular, LSU's secondary and Auburn's receivers. LSU's defense is coming off of a strong second-half performance at Missouri. That group wants to build off the momentum as they return to Death Valley this weekend. For Peyton Thor and his receiving core, they're coming off of a bye week where the focus was on a disconnect they feel like they've had in weeks past. Open communication, route running, just getting on the same page was the focus for this Auburn's offense. And even if they are able to find some success in the pass game, they'll likely have to keep pace with one of the most prolific offenses in the country, led by Jaden Daniels. Now, Brian Kelly has told us that looking at Auburn's film, this defense is probably the best collective group of 11 that LSU has faced this season. So that doesn't necessarily mean we'll see immediate fireworks from this LSU's offense here at Death Valley.
And we're back with the best segment of the day. And Barrie and Gary took a bathroom break, so your boy is stepping in to handle the big dogs. Mr. Ryan McGee, we're here with you to talk about the state of the union, better yet, the state of the SEC. How are we feeling about the SEC? Some people say there's a lot going on, maybe a little. What do we think?
Well, it was kind of cannibalism, right, in September and early October. But now the problem is the superpowers stumbled a little bit. And, of course, I'm talking about Alabama struggling with a loss, and I'm talking about Georgia couldn't get out of the first half without any trouble. And now here we're getting into the middle of October, and Georgia's looking like Georgia, and Alabama's gotten their act together, and Mr. Milroe was kind of told, you need to get on with it, and now he's getting on with it. So it feels like the door was open for a minute, but everyone didn't bum rush the door, and now the superpowers have become the superpowers again. So it's all about, it's all about the top 5%. And if the top 5% are Alabama and Georgia, then I think that the conference is probably okay. Everyone else pretty good too, but they let those guys kind of get their act together, and that's bad news for the rest of the league.
Well, so talking about teams trying to get their act together, let's talk about your beloved Tennessee Volunteers. I've seen some hints of orange in your attire. I've heard about maybe some checkerboard socks you might be rocking. But what is the state of the Tennessee team as they face A&M?
Well, it's interesting because Joe Milton is famous for what reason, right? For throwing the ball 7,000 miles on social media feeds. But he's struggling throwing the ball downfield. It's weird. His numbers are awful. Passes past 15 yards. And so that's the challenge. The good news is that Tennessee is really, really good at rushing the football. More than 230 yards a game, leads the SEC. The bad news is Texas A&M might be the best team in the country at stopping the run. So this is a statement game. We're talking about Georgia and we're talking about Alabama. I think the two best candidates to step up and maybe ruin the party for those two are these two, in Texas A&M and Tennessee, but they need to make their statement and need to do it in a hurry.
Are you talking about making a statement? Well, who wins in this game?
I'm making sure that none of my in-laws are back here, but A&M looks pretty good, man. Listen, Max Johnson's like 47 years old, and this is like his second SEC school. It feels like A&M's getting it together. It feels like Jimbo Fisher is comfortable with handing over the play calls. That being said, Neyland is going to be rocking. And you're not going to rattle Max Johnson. He's played games at Alabama. He's played in bowl games. But this place will be rocking with the checkerboard grandstand, and the seats going to be awesome. But it's again, I'm checking, make sure like my wife's not around. She grew up around here, but it kind of feels like A&M's getting going.
Hey, I'm picking up what you're putting down. It sounds like A&M. I didn't hear it from your mouth. A little birdie may have told me
Yeah,
that
go
you're
Vols.
leaning towards the Aggies.
Okay, yeah.
All right, before we let you go, Ryan, earlier this week, Mark Stoops, head coach of Kentucky, had some comments. He said, quote, about Georgia, they bought some pretty good players. Why are we still salty about the state of the NIL? What's going on with that?
That message was not for you. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for the nation. That message was for Big Blue Nation. And you hear coaches doing this now. I was at a South Carolina game just a couple weekends ago, and every TV timeout, there's a video of Shane Beamer going, hey, donate to the so-and-so, whatever the name of their official NIL fund was. Because even $5 helps. This is what coaches are having to do now. You've got to campaign for campaign funding. It's like politics. These NIL fund deals, they're just like super PACs, right? I mean, you donate to them and you help your cause. And so that's what they're doing. He's politicking. So that message wasn't for anyone other than them. Kentucky, as you know, has spent so much money on facilities, has spent so much money on what I still call Commonwealth Stadium. It was a basketball school with just very average football facilities. Now they're awesome. The next piece missing in the mind of Stoops is NIL money. And so you're going shopping, you got to have some money in the bank. And that's what he was trying to tell his people. Okay, all you guys that spent all this money on these horses, all these race horses here in Kentucky, I could use some of that to go get some horses for this football team.
Well, thanks so much, Ryan, for recapping us of the midweek report. We can't wait to see you next week.
Ty, your long shots champion. You have beef with me? Parachuting into your little show and playing your little game to make the right picks?
Gary, that was adorable.
Two-time undisputed long shots champion, Matt Barrie.
Barrie, we are high upon our thrones.
The rivalry sweeping college football, Barrie and Gary.
That's it.
Right now, it's all Barrie.
Take it easy.
I'm just saying, score would indicate.
Hey.
That was last week.
Be a humble winner.
Oh, what about me wearing a throne and a cape and a sword would make you seem humble?
Be a king for the people.
You're right. You know what? I'm mad at you. So here's the score. 20-16 going into this is week 7.
No, that's not as bad as I thought it'd be.
No, it's all within striking distance.
It is. You're right.
So today's challenge, this is going to be interesting because we've got a grid coming up of superlatives in the SEC, Big 12, ACC. We have on our laptops and our typing fingers, we are going to type the answer to each of these superlatives attached to the conference.
Many different answers.
Now, we have poked holes in every theory we can with how this is going to work. We have determined that what we will do.
I've accused Barrie of cheating
multiple times. Which, by the way, it's kind of a shot.
Well, your hands were busy over there, and I was.
Contrary to popular belief, this isn't the only thing I do on Friday. So when I got my laptop open and I'm looking at a couple of things, I try to get ahead on other jobs. Now my laptop's going to sleep. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, type. And when we go 1, 2, 3, type, we cannot go back on the typing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Once you hit a character, it's committed. We're going to start top left corner.
Yes.
And this could be 4,000 career rushing yards in the SEC. There's multiple answers, but.
All right, so ready. The first one, 4,000 career rushing yards. One, two, three, type. I went last name. We went Darren McFadden and Herschel Walker. We are both probably correct.
Do we have answers popping up?
Survey says.
Boom. Is
this there we go. We both got it.
No, it's not.
No, all right.
Walker. Okay.
All right. So we're 1-1. 10,000 career passing yards ACC. SEC. Sorry.
Wow, dude, you tried to deke me.
You're paranoid. What happened to you? Who hurt you today?
I am.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, type. Wow, I just butchered the name, but you get what I'm going with. Aaron Murray and Peyton Manning.
No, who the hell is Aeon? No.
Dude, how's Aeon?
I've never heard of Aeon Murray.
Survey set. Oh.
Yeah, see, I don't know who you're talking about. Aeon.
Both correct.
What the hell?
Heisman Trophy winner.
And this could be a Heisman Trophy winner
all time.
All time out of
Yeah. I'm just going to go so obscure because I know who you're going to go.
You do?
You and your. Ready? 1, 2, 3, type.
Obscure?
No. I changed my mind because I wanted to be the same one as your Saturday man crush, Tim Tebow.
Obscure?
I was going to go Mark Ingram for obscure.
Okay.
Yeah, we know we're both right. All right.
So we're tied.
We're all tied going
neck
in.
and neck.
Neck and neck.
So we have to establish a tiebreaker.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying.
All right, so we are moving on now. Big 12, 4K rushing yards. The rivalry with Barrie and Gary continues. Big 12, you ready, sir?
I'm gonna surprise you with my answer.
Are you? Ready? 1, 2, 3, type.
Oh, what?
I typed it first, I win. I typed it first, I win.
Did you spell it?
No, I hit an extra K.
You didn't even spell it correctly.
Both right.
Cedric
How about that?
All right.
All right.
I'm going to surprise you on this one, too. I grew up, well, so did you, actually, growing up in Big 12 country. So, you know, like, the obscure guys.
Yeah, here we go.
I mean, because we could have easily gone. Okay, go ahead.
10K passing yards. 1, 2, 3, type. Baker and Graham Harrell. Survey says. Is Baker on there?
Oh, we were snug.
Oh, there they are. Okay.
We were a couple snug bugs up there.
I mean,
okay.
A lot of Oklahoma guys. Landry Jones, Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma. You got a couple of Texas guys. Okay. By the way, a lot of those guys played high school ball in Texas.
That's right. Yeah.
In Texas, where they.
Dude, brag about it, dude. All those guys are your friends. All right.
Yeah,
I mean, this should be easy.
Heisman Trophy
winner. Can you
winner,
double down on answers?
Big 12. 3, 2, go. Jason White, Ricky Williams, both right.
I mean, come on.
We're both right.
I mean, come on. Davey O'Brien, who subsequently was like, you know what, I'll get my own award.
Yeah, you know what, fine. You think your word's cute? I got one named after me.
This is a cool trophy, but
a real man has a real man. All right, ACC, 4,000 career rushing yards. 3, 2, type.
We're
both going to be right.
Trivias.
Who's Trevis?
Who's Trivias?
Who's Trevis? Is he what's that, a Turvis tumbler?
No free ads.
Oh, coming from you. That's rich. So, here we go. Are we still tied?
I should have the tiebreaker, just because I have more obscure guys.
Really? Okay. 10,000 career passing yards. ACC. Ready? Type.
Charlie Ward?
Charlie Ward. Oh! We got a break in the system. You just took the lead.
Did you do that intentionally?
No. I really thought Charlie Ward was on there.
Whoa. All right, Gary.
How did I not get either Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence? So you're going to win this one by one because we're both going to give a Heisman Trophy winner.
All right, let me think about my ACC Heisman Trophy winner real quick.
One.
No.
You can think. One.
What are you talking about? I'm not ready.
No, you're ready.
I'm ready.
3, 2, go. And
no way!
No!
Yeah! Dude, no!
Wow.
No!
Yeah!
Oh, no! Why did I do that, dude?
Oh my God! Talk about missing a tap-in putt.
Oh, I'm sick to my stomach, dude. Oh no!
And once again, Gary can't get over on Barrie.
Wait, no!
You're lucky I didn't go Deshaun Watson. That's amazing. All right, thanks for watching the Kickoff presented by Ram Trucks. Gary's got the yips.
No, I win the tiebreak.
Enjoy week 7. Hey, and Deshaun Watson, congratulations on your Heisman Trophy.